right, hello everyone. My name is Reese Caldwell. Again, I am one of your instructors for our 3-week program. So today we're going to walk through calculating our fats, the amount of fats, the kcals, and the grams we should get per day. And we're also going to look at our total daily energy intake, aka how many calories we can eat in a day. So let's go ahead and begin. Let me get my camera set up here. So you should have gotten this worksheet in an email. It is a step-by-step calculation to get to where we need. So I came up with an example so we could work off of that. So what we have is Kai, a 20-year-old female who is looking to lose a few pounds. She's 5'6" and weighs 150 pounds and exercises about 3 days a week. So with this information, we're going to calculate how many calories she needs a day and how many grams and calories from those should be from fats. So let's go ahead and begin. So the first thing we have to do is, of course, calculate her height in centimeters and her weight in kilograms. So let's go ahead and do that real quickly. We've done this 1 or 2 times already. So we see that she is 150 pounds. We can see that up. It was a given. We'll divide that by 2.2. When you divide that by 2.2, you should get 68.2 kilograms. 68.2 kilograms. Next, we're going to convert her height in feet to inches and into centimeters. So she's 5'6", 5 feet 6 inches tall, 112 inches, so 12 times 5 is 60, plus 6 feet is going to give us 65 inches. That's 65 inches times 2.54 is going to give us 167.6 centimeters. So now we have our variables to begin doing our calculation. So first we need to calculate our TDEI. And you see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 variables in here. So to calculate TDEI, we need to find these first. So let's start on that. So first we're going to look for her basal or resting metabolism. This is the number of calories that she would burn if she didn't move all day, not even pick up her phone, talk, if she just laid still all day. Now, one important thing that I want to point out here is that there are 2 different equations. There's basal energy expenditure for females and for males. So make sure you just do the one for your gender. So we're going to go ahead and plug in our work. So we got 6.82 kilograms up here. Let's bring that down, 6.82 kilograms. We got 1.67.6 centimeters. We're going to carry that down. And then we are going to plug in her age, which we said was 20 years. And for females, we're going to subtract 161. Males, you get to add 5. So once we plug into our calculator, we are going to round out to a 1,469 kcals per day. So if Kai were to lay in bed all day and not move at all, this is how many calories her body would burn to keep her breathing, to keep her heart pumping, and all of those other bodily functions. So again, Kai is not a male, so we will not use that calculation. So next we're going to look at calculating her general activity expenditure. So this is an estimate of how many kcals she burns during general activities, such as brushing her teeth, walking to her car, picking up, talking, things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our basal energy expenditure, which we calculated right up here as 1469, and we'll multiply it by 0.2. When we multiply it by 0.2, this is going to give us a rounded number of 294 kcals per day. Now I'm boxing in certain answers because we're going to have to come back and use them. So I would definitely box these 2 in if I were you. So step number 4 is to calculate her net exercise expenditure, how many kcals she burns during exercise per day. Now, if you do not know how many calories you burn during exercise or you do not exercise consistently, go ahead and skip this step. However, if you have an estimate of how many calories you burn per exercise session, let's go ahead and get this plugged in to be as most accurate as we can get. So Kai works out 3 times a week. So there's our 3 times. And she expends about 300 kcals per workout. So she expends 300 kcals of workout. She works out 3 times a week. And we're going to divide that by 7 days to get the daily kcal burn. And once we calculate that, we are going to end up with a rounded 171 kcals. So that's how many kcals that Kai gets to save per day because she exercised 3 times that week. So now we're going to move on to step number 5, and this is selecting her daily energy balance. Now this step is only going to be necessary if you want to change your current weight. So skip this step if you want to maintain your current weight. However, if you want to either lose weight or gain weight, we will be selecting a value here. So at the beginning, we saw that Kai does want to lose a few pounds, but she is a college student and she doesn't want to be too aggressive with it. So we're going to select the minus half a pound a week. So this, if she subtracts 250 kcals from her diet a day, she will lose half pound. Let's say she was being really aggressive and she subtracted 750 kcals from her diet a day, she would lose 1.5 pounds in a week. And the same goes for gaining weight. So this is our daily energy balance for gaining and or losing weight. So if you are happy with your current weight, go ahead and skip this. If not, that box one is in. So we are finally to calculating our TDEI. Again, this is the amount of calories that we can get in per day. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the values we got. So from our daily energy balance right up here, we have a negative 250. If you did not select one because you want to maintain your weight, leave that blank. Then we have our basal energy expenditure. That was one of our first steps. And what we see is that was 1469 kcals, so 1,469 kcals. Then we have our general activity expenditure, and that was our 294 kcals, 294 kcals. And then our net exercise for our very last step, our next net exercise, which we got as 171 kcals. And again, if you did not calculate net exercise, just leave that blank, plug in a 0. So we're going to take that and we're going to combine it. And then after we have combined it, we will divide it by 0.9. And once we divide it by 0.9, we will get our TDEI of 1,871 kcals per day. So this means that Kai should aim for a diet of 1,871 calories per day. So that is her goal. So now that we have her TDEI, we're going to determine her fats, the amount of fats that she needs to get in her diet. So we see that ACSM, the American College of Sports Medicine, recommends that your diet should be between 45 to 65% carbohydrates, 20 to 35% fats, and 10 to 35% proteins. So based on this, we can decide what percentages we want to aim for. If you're sedentary, move, or exercise much, you would want to go for a lower range on the carbs and fats and a higher range on the proteins. If you prefer to resistance train, like strength training or weight training, you would want to go for a higher percentage of carbs, lower percentage of fats, and a mid percentage of proteins. And if you like to cardiovascular train more, such as running, jogging, hiking, things like that, you would want a lower percentage of carbs, a higher percentage of fat, and a mid amount of protein. So Kai, after her and I got to discuss what type of exercise she prefers, we decided that she should aim for 45% carbohydrates, 25% fats, and 30% proteins. She does like to run, so we added a little bit more fat, a little less carbs, lose some weight, so we upped the 2 nutrients. So now that we have our percentages, we're going to take that TDEI from earlier, our 1,871. We'll multiply that by the percentage of fats that we just selected, which was 0.25% or 25%. And this will give us a value of 468 kcals of fat per day. So Kai should aim to get 468 kcals of fat per day. However, on your regular nutrition label, and if I had one with me, which I do not, I would show you, but on the back where you can see the calories, it normally gives you the grams of carbs, the grams of fats, and the grams of protein also. It normally doesn't give you the kcals of fats, kcals of carbs, and kcals of protein. So we're gonna take those kcals of fat and convert it to grams so we can use those nutrition labels on the back of products to really calculate and analyze what we need. So we're gonna take those kcals of fat that we just calculated and plug it in right here. So that was 468 kcals of fat. We're gonna divide it by 9 kcals because there are 9 kcals in 1 gram of fat. And this is going to give us 52 grams of fat per day. So she should aim for 52 grams of fat in her diet a day or less. So now that we have our grams of fats, one last thing we want to do is calculate our grams of saturated fats. We never want more than 10% of our TDEI to come from saturated fats. Saturated fats are a major factor for developing cardiovascular disease and other physical ailments that can be avoided. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that no 10% of our TDEI, of our total daily energy intake, is coming from saturated fats. So we're going to take our TDEI, which again, we calculated that is 1871. We'll multiply that by 0.1 or 10%, and that will give us 187 kcals of sat fat per day. However, again, we don't really care about kcals of nutrients. We care about grams of nutrients. So we're going to take that 187 kcals of fats per day. We're going to divide it by 9 kcals, and that is going to give us 21 grams of saturated fat, and make sure you see that I put less than or equal to. So therefore, she should aim to get, no problem, she should aim to get 52 grams of fat with no more than 21 grams coming from saturated fats. That was actually the end of my thing. Thank you very much, and I will see you.